Christmas, nurturing the Christ. The divine dip was awesome, was it? To seek love. To seek love. If we seek love, we don't have to worry about anything else. We're not going to be pessimistic. We're not going to be negative thinking. We're going to be lifted into that elevated consciousness of the Christ. Christmas, Christing of the masses, nurturing the Christ. How do we do that? How do we do that? I want to share a poem. This is from Spirit. It's called The Way. Shadowed in the Christmas light, the little village sleeps. To miss the call, as angels sing, the Christ is born this night. The age has turned, yet once again reveals a higher vision. The child of peace, purity, and love begins his earthly mission. A walk that's stood the test of time. The truth he brings eternal. Our Father's love here for all. Can we heed the call? Our mission can seem daunting, to live a life as love. What am I to do this day? Didn't Jesus show the way? Just love. Just love. It's a wonderful message, and it's a simple message, and at Christmas time, we are always reminded of the birth of Jesus the Christ and the light coming to earth. And it's symbolic that as we wake up, we're always showered in that light, but one day we wake up and we recognize that little flickering in our heart, that little quickening. We begin to feel ourselves as different. We see ourselves as even greater. Now what to do to nurture that light, to nurture that love. I am. The age has turned once again. We move from Pisces to Aquarius. We move from trying to understand God through law and rules and judgments and suffering. It's time to know God through love and acceptance. See, the age of enlightenment. To know God through love and acceptance. To know self through love and acceptance. To nurture. To nurture means to care for, to feed. Did I say something?
No, it's downstairs. There's a child stuck outside.
To nurture, to care for something, to feed it, to give it a really good environment so that it can grow. You know, it's really neat when we look at some of the old paradigms and some of the old processes that we walk through life in. And as we move out of that age of rules and judgment and separation, and we move into that age of love and acceptance. When we're in judgment, aren't we standing over someone, looking down at them, being critical maybe? Standing over. When we move into love, we move into understanding. To begin to understand who we are, and to begin to understand who we all are. We all are the love of God made manifest. It begins with nurturing that love, that light I am within our own hearts. And that's what allows us to now express that, to see it, to accept it in one another. Nurturing the Christ. Allowing our divine presence to be. Allowing our divine presence to be. We look at life metaphysically a lot, and on the journey to where Mary and Joseph were going, the story says that the inn was full. The inn was full. There wasn't room for this new baby. There wasn't room for the Christ. And so what we'll say is that race consciousness wasn't ready for the birth of the Christ. And so then we can bring it down to our individual consciousness and say, are we ready for the birth of the Christ? what do we have within us that's taking up space? So there's no room for the Christ. You see? Today, what within me is keeping me from being God's love, to being the love of God? Once we begin to ask that question, we will be revealed. We will be given answers. You've heard that saying, careful what you ask for, because you're going to get it. It's amazing. We are God's love. Love gives value to life. You give value to life. That's powerful for us to embrace and embody. I give value to life. Everybody just say that out loud right now, okay? I give value to life. How'd that feel? We've got to get used to that. To begin to understand that the love that we bring is God's love. And it's integral to this big picture that's going on. And so wherever we go, we're taking that love. We're bringing value to life. And so if we have anything within our that makes us small or little or less than or undeserving or unlovable, that's got to be released so that we got room for the Christ now. So that's the homework that we can do. What within me am I nurturing? I'm nurturing my littleness, you see? If we're nurturing our littleness or less than our unworthiness, are we nurturing our Christ? No. So nurturing the Christ. This Christmas season is powerful because love is in the air. In the songs we sing, the words that we speak, the divine dip, it's revelation telling us who we are. Who we are. And as we begin to embrace that knowing, and then maybe go for an understanding, well, what does that really mean? Once we ask for the understanding, we'll be shown what we can do to walk through any experience that we're having. You know, people pray to God. Oh, God, help me out. Show me what to do. I think the new way of prayer, our new way of prayer, is connecting with God. When we connect with God and allow that inner light and that inner love to grow within us, what happens is we will be inspired. We'll be inspired to do God's will, to give God's love, to allow our divine essence to flow. You see, if we're the children of God, growing up into that mature child of God, standing forth and knowing who I am, now we get a chance to be creative. But to be inspired by our Father God. So we connect with God, ask for guidance, listen, and then the next step, surrender. Surrender to our divine guidance, and then take action on that guidance. And so sometimes those things that are within us override God's guidance, overrides our ability to give love. It's amazing, when we're sleeping, we don't even know what we're doing. But when we wake up, we begin to catch ourselves. This is what a lot of people say, okay? Or this is what we say to ourselves. We think we have to love more. Everybody agree with that? And we think we have to love more. Sometimes we're going through life, man, I need to be more loving. I'm thinking about this. Here's a new way, okay? How about if we say, I can allow more love. I can allow more love. I can, I'm empowered. When am I going to do this? Now. I can allow more love. When we say that takes us out of our mind and our thinking. of all that stuff that we've been nurturing that keep us away from being that love. I now allow more love. When we say that, we begin to release those blocks that are within us, that are stopping the flow. Just by saying, I now allow more love. Affirmations are powerful. We put them into our subconscious, and they're vibrating. I can now allow more love. I now allow more love. Wow, that's pretty cool. So that's a new vibrational frequency that we've put into our matrix. So we're vibrating this. And so every time we get an experience where we get a chance, something happens to us. Now we could judge it and then withhold. All right? Has anybody ever judged and withheld their love? Maybe the person or a situation didn't deserve our love. Right? Or maybe we were unworthy to give love. So when we go now to being able to allow love, we begin to move those blocks that keep us from loving. We begin to override the past programming. So when you put these affirmations, these higher vibration affirmations, that's what's vibrating, and that's what we're going to go to access. We're going to access that first, because it's a higher frequency, it's a higher vibration. And we're going to go there, and each time we go there and go there, that other old leaves. Can't live in our frequency. We're vibrating too high. To feed, to nurture, to feed, to support, to give the environment. So if we give positive statements and affirmations within our beingness, isn't that nurturing the Christ? See, to nurture the Christ really means to give a place for the Christ, to allow a place for Christ in our life. And what is that? The Christ is love. Christ is love. Jesus, a soul fitted by many lifetimes through ages to be able to house God's love, God's purest love, its purest essence, the Christ. So we say Jesus the Christ. Jesus the Christ. So if we come here to learn love, it would behoove us to nurture that radiant spark of the love and light that's within us. Give it a space to grow. To nurture the Christ is to give it a space to be, to recognize it. To recognize it. I give value to life. We're not coming from our head, we're coming from our heart. My essence gives value to life. If I allow my heart to grow and that Christ within to vibrate more, that's what goes before me. The love goes before us. We all know that. And it prepares the way. It prepares the way for greater love. So our experiences and the situations that we have change and evolve. Interesting concept. The thing is, we've been thinking about it. We like saying Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Just love. Say, just love. And that's how simple the message of Jesus the Christ is. He said, just love. He's not the guy that gave us all the rules. He said, just love. And you know what? His whole life, from his birth on, he allowed him a space for his divinity to grow and express and mature. And the people around him did as well. In some of the situations that were nurturing, loving, kind, and those that would create a little bit of resistance, so he could be true to who he really was. To be true to himself, to be true to God, to be true to love, divine love, to be true to Christ. So we strengthen that. We strengthen the resolve to be God's love made manifest. It's a gift. Life is a gift on planet Earth. And we have all these opportunities. But when we judge them, you see, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, we're disconnecting from our heart. We're disconnecting from love. So when Jesus said, connect with me, connect with love, and take no thought. Anybody heard that one? Take no thought for the words you speak, the actions to do. When you connect with Christ, when you connect with the love within. See, we take no thought. We give love a chance to flow. And as that love flows, it overrides, do you see, the past programming, the thoughts, the beliefs, the patterns that limit love, that limit our expression. Because we are divine beings. We're divine beings. And so as we begin to just look at that simple statement, I now allow more love. That's working on dimension. It's working from our subconscious being throughout the universe. Because we are one. When one is helped, all are helped. So don't you think that as we, I don't even think about it, don't you know that as we allow our love to be, just be, the unique expression of love, I am this lifetime, you see? You bring value to our world. You know, when we allow love to move into any situation, then love does what needs to be done. You see? We don't have to do anything. Because we're love. You see? This is the new paradigm that we move into. To move into that lighter, freer life form. You see? To flow. To flow with life. To flow as life. That's our choice. But we have to be awake. Love doing what needs to be done. Love doing what needs to be done. When we connect with God, we're inspired. We're inspired then to be the hands and feet, the voice, the eyes of God. It's just who we are. You see? It's just who we are. That's what nurtures the Christ. We can buy a pack of seeds and take them home and put them on the cupboard. If we don't put them in the ground, prepare the ground, put them in, water them, make sure they get sun, they're not going to grow, are they? We are that seed, that light seed of God. To recognize it and nurture it. What do we need to nurture, to feed, support this seed, this child of God? It's so important. Children are so important. That's what we love doing, the families, and we always get the kids. The kids are so important because they are that innocence, their purity, and they are the love. And if we can show them that when they're small, that can become their identity. You know what? Then they could say, I bring value to life. But if a young child isn't nurtured and loved, how much value do you think it's going to bring to life? A lot less than if they are nurtured and valued. And they've done all sorts of experiments with animals of loving the little ones and not loving them. And the ones that are loved grow strong and healthy. And the ones that aren't loved wither. And we can look at our world and our brothers and sisters in race, consciousness. Those that are loved and supported grow and thrive. And those that are ignored or put down or judged wither. But we live in the age of light. We live in the age of accepting. Accepting those we may not understand. However, when we go into our heart, when we go to connect with God, that love of God, we will get the understanding. We will get the understanding. And that will help us to transform our unique individual consciousness and race consciousness as well. Because we've reached out to our brother or sister and we lifted them up and said, I see you. You are good and deserving of love. You don't have to do anything for my love. You see? They're one with us. They're one with us. That's how natural life can be. That's where we're going. Y'all are pioneers here today. You know, in the Piscean age, we wanted to learn God through religion. We had all these rules and laws and stuff. So people would go into religion for the purpose of being saved. I don't know if anybody's heard that word before, being saved. You see? So from what? Now we got a little judgment going on, we got separation and everything, don't we? Now, when we move into the age of enlightenment, and we're seeking spirituality, spirituality will take us into understanding. I want to understand who I am. I want to understand what life's all about. I want to understand you. God stands before us every day. We can look at it, look in their eyes, or we can look past them. Or we can look at the clothes. But if we look in their eyes, we look into the windows of their soul, and we can begin to know one another and relate to one another on that level. And when we do that, we're nurturing the Christ. We're nurturing the Christ. That's how we can nurture the Christ. It's every day. It's not a big thing. It's just being present, being awake, and knowing who I am, and knowing who one another is. And let's just relate at that level. Let's relate at that level. You all know I love crystals and stones and rocks and earth and God and everything. So, but we have some crystals. They're called spirit quartz, and they come from South Africa. And they came out on the market maybe 20 years ago. They've been just buried in caves, and they had like a psychic shield on them. So, you know, you walk past them for thousands and thousands of years, nobody knows. But now, when race consciousness is ready, okay, it's just like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Did you see how people walked across those caves for thousands of years, and then when it's time, when they wouldn't be destroyed, okay, we can take them out. At least smuggle them out of the country, and they won't be destroyed right off the bat. But they can be revealed. Well, anyways, back to my story. Spirit quartz. Spirit quartz is a stone for right now. Because the vibration of spirit quartz, when we carry it in our pocket, the vibration of it keeps us in our heart chakra on up. You see what I'm saying? Say, don't have to deal with our root chakra or survival or, you know, getting our needs met, keeping our needs met, or controlling. You see? Old paradigm. God's our source in all things. Heart on up. So now we connect with people on a heart-to-heart level. You see? A true level, a truth level. Because we all are love. And then, now, we can speak from that level of understanding. We can begin to see greater, our vision expands, and we can have a stronger connection with God. We live in a loving, supportive universe. We are open now and receptive and aware enough of energy and spirit so that we can begin to choose. To choose. When you're awake, you can choose. When you're sleeping, do you have choice? Most of the time you don't, do you? Anybody ever have a bad dream or a nightmare? Sometimes people might say their life is a nightmare. You see, they're not awake. They're not connected with God. They're not connected with the God of their being. So it's important for us to recognize that, remember that, and then support it, nurture it. Nurture that love. Nurture that unique light I am. Nurture the gift that you brought. Nurture the gift that you brought. It's important. That's why you came. That's what's neat. That's why you came. And we all are different. We're all unique. And that's good. We're all part of that big mosaic. And you pull back a little bit. You don't get caught up. You pull back. Then you can see the beauty. You see how it works out in harmony, joy, peace, love, and all that good stuff. Just do it. Just love. We grow as we learn love's evolutionary lessons. We're evolving in consciousness. We're evolving our consciousness to love the truth and love I am. So let's go within. So once again, I want you to close your eyes and just breathe. And as you breathe, I want you to just take your awareness to your heart center. Just feel. Breathe and feel that radiant love within your heart begin to grow and expand in its unique radiance. Breathe and feel. Be still and know. And once again, as you breathe and feel your heart, the love, the light I am, the unique essence made manifest this day. Breathe in and feel it. And accept it. I am God's love made manifest. I am God's love made manifest. And just breathe and feel your energy getting warmer and more radiant. It seems like you're expanding. And as you sit in your chair, just become aware of a radiant star, a beautiful star shining above your head, showering down upon you. Feel it moving through your crown chakra, the top of your head, down through your whole body. And just feel that quickening and that remembering. And as you breathe and feel, know that this light on high is revealing who you really are. Is there strengthening you and knowing who you are and understanding who you are. So as you sit in this light, just breathe. If you got any questions for God, ask a question now. In this radiant light and love of the universe showering over you. Breathe it in, and now surrender to love. Surrender to love. I now allow more love. I now allow more love. And take the step you're being given. And just breathe. Breathe and feel how loved you are, how supported you are, the love that you are. Breathe and feel and know. I am with you always. Feel your feet on the floor. Glad to be alive on planet Earth at this moment in time. Glad to be awake. Gently wiggle your toes and fingers and gently open your eyes. each morning when we get up, we look in the mirror, or not, remind yourself that you are the beloved child of God. I am God's love made manifest. And my life gives value to life. And so it is.